Hey,
Hi, you guys. This is T Era or T. We're doing a Tips with T interview today with Miss Dina. Miss Dina, how are you today?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me.
It's so awesome to have you on today. I am so very excited because this is basically a topic that is very, very common. But basically, can you tell us more about yourself and what you do first? And as an
Sure.
entrepreneur.
So I'm a dating coach, and essentially what that is I just help people to achieve their dating goals. So whatever it looks like to you, whether it's just getting out there or actually finding the one and kind of anything in between, I'm really there to just be supportive and unconditionally loving and help you to achieve those dating goals, whatever it looks like.
That's awesome. So, what is your ultimate mission for someone that's dating, or being a dating coach? What's your ultimate mission for them?
So essentially my goal is to help people to find organic connections in real life. So I think that a lot of times, we have this artificial ecosystem of online dating where we're not really connecting with people. It's kind of I call it a faux connection, like FAUX, like a fake connection where we're just endlessly texting to never meet up with someone because we're so scared to really put ourselves out there. And there's this fear around rejection and around authenticity and what it means to have someone not love who you are. And so I think that a lot of that kind of makes us be in a fear-based state, and we're not really living our true selves. And so my goal as a dating coach is to help people kind of reconnect with who they are as a person, what it is that they really desire, and then how to find that with their thoughts, feelings, and actions and track that to them.
Awesome. I'm glad you said authentic because, it's that's very, very rare now. Because all the different dating sites and apps and things of that nature, it makes it kind of actually makes dating harder than what it should be.
Sure.
Because especially with the technology that we have today, everybody wants to connect through social media or through text messages and stuff like that. It's like it's not, I guess, original, I guess I could say, anymore. Like back in the day, you had to go meet this person to talk to this
Yeah.
person and get to know them.
Yeah.
Like it's not that way anymore. So I'm
Right.
glad you're really teaching how to be authentic and find those organic relationships because some people still do desire that. I know with me, um, dating and stuff like that, I mean, I have like a lot of guys that will just study my Facebook profile to try to see or present themselves in a way to where I will accept them. And I'm just like, just
Sure.
be your authentic self. Like you don't have to put on this persona to try to get to know me. So I mean, so I really commend you on what you do. So what are the strategies that you teach your clients to help them learn how to date more authentically?
So it starts with all of the inner work, right? So it's about like who you are as a person, what you actually desire, instead of just falling into relationships being like, "Oh, I guess this will work for now." It's really about taking that time for yourself and deciding what it is that you really do want. Like, do you want a partner, a long-term partner that's going to be your monogamous bond pair? Or do you want to just experiment and play? Like, whatever it is that you desire is perfect for you. And just kind of getting to the heart of that, whatever it is that you want, being able to express that to others, and then finding what that is that you desire. So putting it out there, right? Just being your true self and putting out to the world what you would desire. And then kind of the way to get that back to you is to go into places that will kind of have that atmosphere, have that energy, have that vibe. So it's not just about finding people online, but also like volunteering places or maybe going to meetups or going to different organizations that your community puts on, or just going out into the world, going to the park, going to places, to be in other places that your social circle doesn't normally run in. And that way you're exposed to a lot more people and a lot more resources. And I think that, people get nervous or they get shy or they feel apprehensive that they're going to be rejected. So it can be really intimidating to put yourself out there. But if you're not living your full self, if you're not living your full gamut of human emotions that you have available to you, then you're not really living authentically. You're not really putting yourself out there. You're just kind of flowing through life and not really ever expressing your full self. And realistically, you're not going to make connections that way because you're kind of keeping everyone at arm's length. You're like, I will get this close to you, and then that's it. Instead of being like, here's my entire entity, and like, let's do this thing, let's be real and connect with one another. But that's terrifying. And so I get why that's so scary for people. And so a lot of my job is just kind of allowing people to feel how they feel, telling them that emotions are not scary, they're just sensations in your body. And then to put themselves out there, and that rejection happens, and that's okay. That's part of life.
Awesome. Awesome. So how do you, I mean, okay, so I'm glad you said energy, because I do believe that our energy attracts what we desire if we
Yep.
um, put off that right energy. So what would you advise someone to work on if they're desiring a certain thing or a certain qualities out of someone? So what would you teach them so they can attract that type of energy that they need?
So I think that everything starts with awareness. So
Right.
being really aware of like where you're at already. And then if you want to raise your energetic frequency to attract that level to you, then that's done like very purposefully. So it starts with awareness, like that super serious self-assessment. And a lot of times it can be difficult to do it yourself, which is probably where I would come in. Like, okay, that level of energy that you're expressing right now is this level of energy. And if you want to get it to this level, this is what your thought pattern has to be, kind of like a thought ladder, right? To kind of step you up
Mm-hmm.
in how you express your energetic frequency. And once you get to a certain point of expressing your energetic frequency at a really high level, that is what you're going to attract to you. Like I tell people I've never been on a bad date, and that's not because of anything other than I attract to me exactly what I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I attract people that have high energetic frequencies to me, and it's just fun, like all the time. It's like nonstop fun.
That's awesome, because a lot of people don't know how to, deal with that awareness, or, be aware so they can get where they are desiring out someone else while they're dating. So what are some other things that, I mean, I understand that you teach your clients how to accept rejection. So what do you talk about to prepare them for rejection? Because a lot of people, like a lot of men, a lot of women, they are
Right.
scared to put themselves out there because of the rejection, of being scared of being told no and all this other good stuff. So how do you teach them to prepare for that?
Yeah. And that's huge, right? That's literally nonstop. Like we deal with it in business, we deal with it in dating, we deal with it in
Right.
friendships, in our family life. Rejection literally lives everywhere, like on every surface. And so I think that being such a major component of life is something that usually we'll cover really early on, just because it's prevalent. Just
Mhm.
and especially before you make offers, kind of managing the rejection ahead of time is really key. So my personal strategy for dealing with rejection and helping my clients to deal with rejection is to recognize that it's going to happen, because 99% of the people that you go on a date with are actually not your match, like at all. And that's okay.
Mhm.
And then two, be able to feel those feelings. So rejection doesn't mean anything about you. Rejection just means it's not a match. Whether you see it first or they see it first, it's not a match. And so being really cognizant of that it's okay if it's not a match, and that rejection does happen, you're allowed to feel however you want to feel. If you feel hurt, if you feel frustrated, if you feel angry, like if you feel any of the natural things that you feel, that's okay. And that's good. Like you should be able to feel those things, and
Mhm.
then recognize how you're feeling, and then decide from there how you'd like to move forward. So if you want to stay angry, you have every right to. But if you'd like to move forward, you have every right to do that too. And I think just recognizing that it's in your control always to decide in each moment how you want to show up, and that power literally makes you unstoppable.
Wow, that's so good. Because I mean, it's just, we do have to be aware of rejection, whether it's dating or whatever. And It's funny because some people, I think we should learn how to accept our emotions and deal with our emotions as children. So whenever
Oh,
we get older, it won't be as hard. But some of us grew up in a society where we feel like, okay, if we're vulnerable, that's consider us to be weak and stuff like that. That's not the case, you need to deal with your emotions. You need
yeah,
to understand it's okay to feel this way. Um, so I really do feel like that is a really good that's really good what you're doing because I mean I deal with a lot of people that cannot accept their emotions. They
sure.
don't want to accept their emotions. They don't want to own up to their emotions. And it's just like you have the right to feel the way you feel. You have the right to cry. You have the right to
Yeah.
be happy. And it's just like, I mean, because I finally got to that point in my life about owning my feelings when I hit 30.
Yep.
And that's kind of crazy. And I guess I'm like, I should have been taught that while I was younger.
Sure.
So, but hey, it happens.
It's crazy what they teach in school. They like teach math and they teach all of these like things like history, like things that you don't use, not ever. And not once do they teach you emotions and feelings and emotional maturity at all. They're just like, shut it down.
Hmm.
You have emotions, shut it down. Like
Hmm.
emotions at work, shut it down. And you're
Hmm.
like, is that healthy? Am I handling it? Or am I just burying this deep, deep down and eventually I'm going to explode?
Right. It's very, very unhealthy. And you know what makes it so bad? That stuff didn't really come out to me until I went to therapy.
Sure.
And I'm like, wow, like if I would have known this sooner, I could have
Yeah.
dealt with this sooner. Like it is so unhealthy. It causes you to have so many unresolved issues when you don't
Sure.
deal with your emotions or accept your emotions for what they are.
Yeah. And then there's just this buildup. And you don't understand why you're tired, you're exhausted, you're not able to digest your food, like your body's in constant fight or flight mode. Yeah, that sympathetic nervous system is just overdrive because you're like constantly worried and fearful that this is just going to come out of you. And then people are like, why am I sick all the time? I'm like,
Hmm.
you need to feel, like you
Hmm.
need to feel things,
Hmm.
feel life, it's okay. And once you allow people that permission, that space to just be able to fully be whoever it is that they are and love them unconditionally exactly where they're at, there's so much growth and transformation that takes place. It's like such a beautiful process to watch. And I remember when I graduated college and my guidance counselor was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, or how do you want to use your degree? And I was like, I just want to love people. That's like what I want to do with my life. She's like, that's not a job, but it is a job. And I'm literally doing it right now.
That is awesome. That is awesome. We need more people like you. We really do need more people like you. Um, and I know I didn't ask you this question before, but so how do you um what would you recommend for someone that's dealing with hurt from a previous relationship, how to overcome that hurt?
Yeah. So I think that, it starts with, at least for me, it's journaling. And I have a lot of my clients do journaling. So writing out exactly how you feel and getting it kind of out of your body and onto another surface. And once you're looking at it and you're visually seeing it, a lot of times you can process through that a lot quicker. So feel that emotion.
Hmm.
So if you're feeling hurt, feel hurt. Allow your body to feel hurt and watch yourself kind of go through this. And as you're feeling hurt, ask yourself why. Like, why am I feeling hurt? What about this situation was so painful for me? Like, what did it bring up inside me? What did I learn about myself? What kind of trigger did that kind of set off for me? And where was that trigger born? Because that person didn't create that button inside of you. That button already exists. That
Right,
person just pushed that button.
right.
So where did that button come from? And how do we work on that? And then it kind of becomes this whole process of growth and learning. And it no longer becomes about the hurt, but about how to utilize the hurt to move you forward into a season of growth. So it's kind
Awesome.
of a beautiful process, I think. I love breakups. I'm all about it.
I mean, it is a beautiful process because I went through a bad um, marriage. So I've
Yep.
been divorced, and so um, everybody was just like, "Well, would you do it over again?" I'm like, "No, I had to go through that process to learn and to grow and to become this person that I am today." And a lot of people don't look at it like that. And when I grasp it and actually, like you said, I journaled. I actually, did therapy. I did.
Yeah.
Uh, um, a board that says, you know, to identify all my triggers and what I experienced. And
Love
it
that.
didn't really, it really didn't even
Mm,
come from all that stuff. Didn't really stimulate from him. It stimulated from some stuff stimulated from my childhood. So
totally.
whenever I actually did and put in the work, I was just like, wow, look how much I've grown from, you know, childhood to being in a, you know, not so good relationship to now. And you just really do have to put in that work.
Totally. What a badass. Just
Right,
out there doing it.
right,
I
right,
love it.
right. So, what other, do you have any other tips that you give to your clients that you might want to share?
Yeah, so I think that like the number one thing is really just to own who you are.
Right.
Like you are a perfect, beautiful entity, and your partner, your match is actually going to love everything about you. So just be yourself, because later on down the road, if you're trying to be something different, eventually you is going to come out. And then that person fell in love with the mask of what you were trying to be instead of who you actually are. And so there is going to be a mismatch later on down the road. And why not just be your whole self now and allow someone else to fully see you for who you are and love that. And really, you get to decide who you love. And I think a lot of times, you know, as women, and I hear this a lot from my clients, is like, well, I don't know if they like me. Like, do you like them? Like, that should be the number one question,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like, do you like them? Start there and then be yourself. And if they like you back, that's beautiful. And if not, that's fine. Move along.
Right. I'm finding a lot of people when they be like, I wonder if he likes me. And it's like, do you like yourself? Love
Yeah.
yourself. And what everybody else do or bring to you is extra. Just make sure you get it from yourself first. And
Yeah.
a lot of people just look at me like, okay, yeah, you are on
So
a
true.
whole totally different new level now. Like, are you what? Like, but I really had to just learn in that process to love myself and value myself more than what everybody else gets to me is extra.
Yep.
And then they begin to replicate what I'm doing for myself because I do it to myself. So that's very, very, very awesome. I'm glad that I had a chance to have you on today
Thank you
because you
so
give
much.
so much info, like so much insightful information. It's just awesome because a lot of people need to know how to get through hurt, how to authentically date. Like it's such a beautiful thing when you're able to get to that level when you can do that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This was amazing.
You are so welcome. I want you to come back on the show again. So how can people get in contact with you if they would like to do so to render your service? And I'm going to share the screen to show your social handles.
Yep. So my Instagram is Sweet Deans, which is a family name. My family's called me Sweet Deans my entire life. So Sweet Deans. And then my website, also just sweetdeans.com. And Facebook is Dina Brenci.
Awesome. 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 Well, thank you again for coming on the
Thank you so much.
show. And if you guys are wanting to contact me, you know, my number is 910-317-0396. You can email me at contact@mjfinancial.biz. You can schedule a consultation at www.njfinancial.biz. And you can also find this episode on Anchor, you guys, on my podcast channel. So if you're on the go, you want to listen, you can re-listen to this episode. And I hope it's very helpful to you. I hope it opens some insights. And you guys, please check out my girl Dina. If you are interested in dating and want to know how to date authentically, I think she is awesome. She has this beautiful spirit, you guys. And alrighty, we will see you guys on the next episode.